Hi everyone, in addition to learning about imaginary and complex numbers, we're also going to learn how to solve a quadratic equation. So first we're going to write our original equation, which is going to be 3x squared minus 7 equals negative 31. And then from there, we're going to add 7 to both sides, making it 3x squared equals negative 24. And then from there, we're going to divide 3 on both sides, making it x squared equals negative 8. From there, we're going to get rid of the square by square rooting on this side. And what you do to one side, you have to do to the other side, which makes it x equals the square root of negative 8. And from there, we're going to use the imaginary unit I to be able to square root a negative number, even though it's not a real number. So we had x equals the square root of negative 8. From there, you're going to break up the root of negative 8 by making it the square root of negative 1 times the square root of positive 8. Keeping in mind that the square root of the negative 1 is the I, because the definition of I is the square root of negative 1. And then from there, you're going to work with the positive square, or the square root of the positive 8, breaking it up even more into the square root of 4 times the square root of 2, because 4 times 2 is 8. The square root of 4 is just a positive 2, and the square root of 2 cannot be made into any simpler terms. So what we're left with is I, 2, and the square root of 2. From there, what we learned is that we're going to first use the whole real number, and we're going to put that in the front. So we're going to put it right here in the front, and then next you're going to use the I, so that was number 1. Next you're going to use the I, which represents the square root of negative 1. So we're going to put the I here. And then lastly, we're going to use what's left is the square root of 2. And that would be your answer. And be sure that because you didn't start off with this, you started off with the quadratic equation, that it could be plus or minus, because the answer would be positive or negative. So be sure to write plus or minus whenever you write your final answer, which would be that.